Good morning, this is Wayne Blau with another smart profit maximizing moment. I'm running a little late today, sorry about that, taking care of my daughter's dogs. One of them had an ear surgery and can't go outside in the pool, so we have to be a little careful, so that ran me a little late. Anyways, we're going to talk about today how to legally reconstruct your records if you're in an audit, IRS audit, sales tax audit, state audit, really doesn't matter what. Anytime the government's coming in and saying, prove it. All right. Before I get there, let me reintroduce myself a little better. My name is Wayne Bilal. I'm the founder of the local CPA firm since 1991. I've actually been working as a CPA since 1977, working in CPA firms before that even. So I've been doing this a long time, focusing and specializing, mainly working with small business owners. All right. Our firm does three things. I'm the founder of the Smart Profit Maximizing System. That's the system we use to help our business owners create more wealth to grow their business. All right. Part of these free videos and the closed Facebook group. These videos are going to go into that closed group pretty shortly, and in that group I'll be able to contact, talk to people, answer questions, things like that. So if you're watching me here, we're going to have to, you're going to want to join that group. All right. Also tax planning. And that's part of what we're doing here is talking about tax planning. All right. So in the last 3 years alone, we helped our clients save over $4.3 million in taxes that they got to use however they want. They didn't send it to the IRS. Like pay off their mortgage, fund their retirement, invest in their business, pay college debt, whatever. Whoever, didn't go to the IRS, that's what counts. And of course we do tax returns, and we do them as best as we can in a way to avoid audits, but unfortunately audits happen. In particular lately there's been a lot of sales tax audits in the last 4 years probably. They're back. If you're selling something, you can almost be guaranteed you're going to see a sales tax audit at some point. IRS audits, not as much. They're back. We went a long time without seeing them, but we're seeing them now. And the problem with an IRS audit, or any of these audits really, is that they're looking at history. So, an IRS audit is going to look 2-3 years in the past normally. You file this year's, you file an 18 return. I mean, look, when you were doing your 18 return and your tax preparer called you had enough trouble remembering what happened last year. Now consider what's going on if you're looking 2-3 years back. Looking at 17 or 16 or whatever. So what do you do if you don't have the records available? Well, you're allowed to reconstruct them, all right? Now, obviously, the best thing is to play defense, to have the records. I mean, you don't want to have to reconstruct auto mileage, so you're better off getting a simple app like, Mile IQ, something like that tracks your mileage using your phone. Everybody has their phone with them, all right? Copy all your receipts, use something like an automatic capture of your credit card charges. There's a lot of choices out there, okay? But what if you can't find them? Well, it is perfectly legal to reconstruct your records, all right? In any way that provides adequate evidence that your return was actually filed correctly. The law does not require perfect record keeping, but it is infinitely easier and cheaper if you do keep good records. That's what I was talking about. Here's a few examples of how you can reconstruct your records, okay? See if you can request copies from the original company. Call your mortgage company, doctor, vendor. Had somebody recently who buys most of their stuff from one vendor, and that vendor was able to print, a printout of what they've been paid. And the IRS accepted that. And the sales tax people use that to, we have to get invoices, but to show the sales tax that they paid that they shouldn't have paid. Get affidavits from parties involved detailing the transactions you don't have any receipts for. It's not great, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, they hired me to do this. I don't really have the records myself, but I did this. They paid me that, something like that. Law requires that you receive a receipt at the time you make a contribution in excess of $250, but you can always request a copy. So if you make a charitable contribution, make sure of over $250, make sure you get something in writing from that, but you can always go back and get a copy of that. Use a diary or a calendar to back up your deductions for auto mileages, seminars, and travel. For seminars and things like that and travel, keep copies of what you did. If you went, here's one that happens all the time. I have somebody who owns a spa who does go visit spas in other places when they're there. Make sure you grab some of their marketing materials so you can prove I went there. Here it is. I talked to this person. I had a tour. You can also back up deductions by analyzing your accounting records. Making a deposit shows that you went to the bank on that day. All right. Purchase from your vendor shows that you picked up merchandise on that day. Outline your normal sales process for a customer. For example, you make one trip to see what work is required, one to deliver the proposal, one to do the work, and a last trip to deliver the invoice and receive final payment. Calculate the invoice for each customer using this method. That's not great either. I'd rather use the mile, something like I said, Mile IQ is the one I use. Get a copy of a police report or insurance claim to back up all casualty losses. Nowadays, the law's changed on that. Casualty loss has to be in a declared disaster zone, but remember, that's for 18. 17 and 16 are still being audited. So if the IRS auditor most likely will not accept any or all of these reconstructions. They might not, but they will work at these kind of things, work at the appeals level and at tax court. Obviously, that's a lot more expensive and time consuming. So the best bet is to make sure you keep good records to start with and keep all your backup. One of the things I like that's coming out right now is using the credit cards that actually take a copy of your receipt. So you go take a customer for lunch, you take a copy of the receipt, boom, you go. All right, hey, until next time, this is Wayne Bilal saying let's make this our most profitable year ever. Thank you very much.